One of the best ways to ensure that your searches will be successful is to use the tools that are part of the database, such as the thesaurus and other limiters. To get to the thesaurus, you click up at the top of the screen in ERIC where it says thesaurus, and what this will allow you to do is search for the terms that are actually used by the database as they're indexing the different articles that are put into the database. If you notice, the second search box on the screen, it says Browsing ERIC Thesaurus. So I am going to start by putting in applied research. This is an expectation for your course, and I want to see if this is a term that the database actually uses. So I'm going to click Browse, and you'll notice that applied research is not a term that the database actually uses. So I'm going to click on research, which is the database or the term that the database does use, and then click on it again to see if they recommend any narrower terms. So types of applied research include action research, so I'm going to go ahead and put a check mark next to that. Also, case studies is a term that you could potentially use. Notice that the drop-down menu here says OR. That means that it'll search for the phrase action research, or it will search for the term case studies. They don't have to both be in the search results. So I'm going to click Add, and it adds those terms to my search. So I'm going to go ahead and click Search. And I find over 50,000 potential articles that refer to action research or case studies. The next thing that I may want to focus on has to do with reading. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, I'm interested in action research that relates to reading. I'm going to add that additional search term. I could also have searched for it in the thesaurus if I was so inclined. I'm then going to use some of the limiting features that are built into the database, the first of which is to go ahead and put a check mark for scholarly peer-reviewed journals, so that it is only showing me those things that have been peer-reviewed. I'm now down to basically 1,800 articles. The next thing I want to do is change the date. So I only want things that have been published since 2005. So I'm going to drag the publication date over to 2005. And I got rid of another 900 plus articles that way. The last thing that I'm going to do is use the subject terms from the database. So you'll notice here where it says subject, I'm going to click Show More. And I'm going to look down this list to see if anything piques my interest. So as I'm looking down this list, maybe I want to focus on intervention. So I'm going to go ahead and check the box next to intervention and click Update. You'll now notice that I'm down to 78 articles, which is really quite manageable to look through. And just as we talked about in the previous tutorial, you can access the full text by clicking on the PDF links in the database.